Hi Aries, welcome to your weekly but extended weekly reading with me, Raphael from Radiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, remember these readings are for your sun, moon and ascendant sign. So whether you're a sun, moon or rising sign Aries, this is for you. And I always advise that you watch all three to get a clearer, more complete picture of how they're going to speak to you. With that said, remember they are general readings. Not everything's going to resonate with everybody, and that is just fine. You should always use your own discernment. Whatever you do or don't celebrate, from my heart to yours, I truly hope you have a wonderful time of it over the holiday season. That's why this is going to be an extended one, because there's other things that I want to bring to you before the year is out as well. All right, so this is going to see you right through to and including the first 2 days of the new year. So before we start, as always, I would like to bless my deck of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance, and I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise, and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So for your keys to the weeks, you have two keys to the weeks this week because there's 2 weeks ahead, right? You've got the Star card and the Fool card. So this is wonderful. Over the course of the next 2 weeks, don't be surprised if something starts afresh, something starts anew. This is a hopeful beginning of some kind that could be finding you over the course of the next 2 weeks. This could be something that happens as a result of your group. This could, whether this is your tribe that you're spending the holidays with, whether this is people that you connect with over the internet or online, very possible with this mix of cards. The fact that you have these two energies, this is hopeful. It is wish fulfillment energy. This is also fateful new beginnings that are very likely to find you over the course of the next 2 weeks. For some of you, this might literally just come as an internal download or a shifting of energy that makes you feel like a lot lighter, a lot brighter on the internal space. For some of you, this could be an idea that you have that really almost like takes hold of you, and you just kind of say, you know what, I know this is going to work. You're not necessarily sure how it might happen or what the steps might be, but you know on that deeper level that this has every chance of success. This is a really wonderful energy actually as an overarching theme for the next 2 weeks, because it is a fated or hopeful beginning of some sort that really shows up for you, and it gives you the power to tap into whatever it is that you can dream, whatever it is that you can imagine. You have this opportunity for creating it. It wouldn't surprise me as well if over the next 2 weeks you end up connecting with a group or a tribe of some sort that really feels like where you're supposed to be or where you're supposed to be aligned at this moment in time. I mean, it's just a really wonderful energy actually for the next 2 weeks, and I have to say it's good stuff, good times and good people. What more could you need for the end of the year and the holiday season? For those of you that haven't, please don't forget to like, share, and if you should so choose and this resonates, hit the subscribe button. For those of you that are continued subbies, and obviously those of you that are new, a massive heartfelt thank you so much for all of your support throughout 2021. For those of you ride or dies, I know there's a few of you Aries that have been with me from the very beginning, and it really is heart touching and heart melting to know that you stayed with me this long. Here's to a new year, a wonderful year, and here's to brighter, happier times, and more importantly, all of the growth and expansion and the new stuff that I'm planning to bring you for the year ahead. With that said, let's get into it. For your actions and options, you've got the Tower card, right? So I know a lot of you are like, oh gosh, here we go. The fact that you've got this, right? This is in your actions and options, which means in a lot of ways you are changing your mind or you're changing your direction. This next 2 weeks, be vigilant, right? And this isn't, I actually don't think, or I don't actually feel intuitively at all that the Tower card represents some doom and gloom moment. I actually feel, especially because of your keys to the weeks, I really feel that this is going to be some big moment of realization where something inside you just clicks and you're like, oh my gosh, this is where I'm supposed to be going. This is the direction. It could come through a conversation. This could be a connection with a group of people, you know, like I said, with a tribe of some sort, because you've got the star card in the mix. This could be simply time that you spend with your family where, you know, the challenges or the issues of the past, whatever challenges or issues you might have had, literally just melt away. You know, and I don't want to be Pollyanna positive about this, but I really do have to say this is such a wonderful energy. You've got a double hit of fated energy here as well, because you've got the Tower in your actions and options. That's that big download, big change of mind, big, you know, direction shift. And you've also got the Fool card. These are two halves of a whole, right? So in some way, shape or form, there is a new direction and new energy that finds its way to you over the course of the next 2 weeks. And this really sets the stage for what is likely to be a much better year for all of us. For your communications and conversations, you've got the 9 of Wands, right? So be prepared, right? Be open and be prepared to talk about some of the challenging stuff. Yes, it's the holiday season and everybody likes to keep it light and fluffy and, you know, yeah, all right, we've got all of that. But if there is something that has affected you deeply, if there's something that has wounded you in your past, opening up about it now, especially in some of the company that you're going to find yourself in over the next 2 weeks, could be some of the most cathartic conversation that you've ever had in your life, right? And I don't say that lightly. You guys know me. I tend to try to keep it more played down than played up, no matter how theatrical I am, right? But what I will say here is the 9 of Wands suggests that you have a moment to speak. And when you have that moment, when you get given the microphone or you get given the stage, say something that matters. For those of you that know this or don't know this, Charlie Chaplin only ever gave, I was obsessed with this guy when I was little. He only ever gave one speech. He did one film or one movie where he actually spoke. And, you know, up until then, he's always been this black and white comedy, slapstick kind of energy, right? And he gets up and he opens his mouth and delivers this, like, I've got goosebumps just thinking about the words that he used. Gives this speech that absolutely, like, if it doesn't touch your heart and your soul, then you don't have one, quite frankly. If you get a chance, if you've got a minute, if you haven't heard it, look up Charlie Chaplin's speech. It will speak to you. This is why I say to you, over this holiday season, over the next 2 weeks, you're going to have a moment to speak. And what you say, it matters. It's not just about what you say to others and how it affects them, although that's, you know, deeply a part of it for everything that we do. It's really going to give you a chance to heal something for yourself. And this in turn is going to make you better for the world, right? So take that opportunity, even if it's uncomfortable. One thing that we can definitely say about Aries, you guys are brave as that word. All right. So when it comes to your, those of you that are employed, this might be a time where it's you know, this might actually be a moment where you get to speak up. Maybe a boss or somebody in a position of authority asks you, how are you coping? How are you dealing with the workload, with everything that's going on at the moment? And this could be your moment where you're not just speaking for yourself, but you're speaking for everybody. Allow yourself to be the mouthpiece of your workforce, right? If you get given the answer and you get this moment to speak, to say what needs to be said, speak up, not just for yourself, but everybody else as well. When it comes to those of you that are business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, this could be a real moment where you say to yourself, okay, you know what? I understand. I mean, this could be actually, the next 2 weeks could show you where some of the mistakes that you've made weren't because you had done something wrong. It's actually because you didn't have the support that you needed. And this could really highlight to you what support system you actually need and what you're prepared to, you know, like put in place in order to make that happen. When it comes to those of you that are retired or no longer working, it's kind of like the same energy as for all of you, but it's more going to be a case of you really finding ways to lead by example when it comes to healing certain wounds, right? And we carry them for so long, all of us do, until one day we're like, okay, this is ridiculous. I can put this, no, it's not to belittle anybody's pain or anything like that, but you know what I mean? It's like, I can put this down now, right? I can let it go. For your love and relations, you've got your card, you have the Emperor. So this is about being committed. For some of you, this could, I mean, for those of you that are out and about on your travels, meeting new people, going to parties and invites, etc., you could meet somebody that really smacks you between the eyes. Very, very possible. If that is the case, Nine of Wands, the Emperor, just be yourself. And yes, with the Nine of Wands, don't be afraid to talk about that stuff, right? It's not going to be the bravado that this person wants from you. It's going to be the depth of who you are that will really count. For those of you that are partnered, married, or in long-term commitments already, this is kind of nice because it suggests that I almost, like in my head, I'm seeing, like, you know, Stretch Armstrong, and his arms are like stretching out to literally encompass everybody. And it's like you're in this big group and your arms are stretching around everybody. This kind of suggests to me that for some of you, maybe you're wanting to grow the family in the new year, you know, and this could be an interesting time to have those conversations. I mean, obviously we're all going to be hopped up on sugar and cake and all kinds of stuff. So, you know, maybe keep your feet on the ground. But other than that, yeah, nice. For your money and materials, you've got the Four of Pentacles. All right, so you've got 2 fours here. 2 fours, remember, represents at times the energy of insomnia. So I will say this, over the next 2 weeks, don't expect to get too much sleep. Not necessarily a bad thing. You've got the Four of Pentacles here. Now, for Four of Pentacles for money is actually a very good card. It does suggest that you might need to get out of the material realm a little bit, all right? So don't be too much about number counting and all the rest of it. But more importantly, for a lot of you, this is really you looking at or setting a savings target or goal or budget for the new year. Once you do that this week, set it aside, right? Make that plan, make that goal for the new year to say, right, this is how much I'm going to save. This is where I'm going to cut my spending, you know, do all of that. And once it's done, just put it aside so that you can enjoy the next 2 weeks. When it comes to your physical health and vitality, this is going to be your knees, your bones, like your skeleton, your structure, basically, especially because it's a number 4. This would be a really good time to maybe do a systems check, you know, and start thinking about what you're going to do in order to make, you know, your physical self much more buoyant for the new year. And then finally, when it comes to your home and environment, this could be an interesting one, right? I gotta say, it kind of feels like you want to stay at home, but I don't feel like you're going to have that luxury, all right? I feel like a lot of you are going to end up being pulled out for various different reasons, which is not necessarily a bad thing. All right, and then finally, on the 2nd of January, we have a new moon in the sign of Capricorn, which is going to be quite an interesting new moon for sure. And we have the gate 4 and answer. So what this suggests is that new moon, when the new moon hits, the thing that you're really being asked to do is to take a moment to observe the answers that come to your questions, right? This isn't about, you know, you're listening to your intuition or your feelings. It's about taking a moment to say, what is the world, the universe, or my external environment telling me or answering me in terms of my question? All right, so the new moon would be a really good time to ask a question and to wait to see what happens in the external world to verify or back that up. All right, with that said, I wish you all of the best. Have an amazing holiday season. I will see you in the new year, ready and raring to go with a whole bunch more of new stuff that I'm really excited to bring you. All right, take care, and I'll see you soon.